I think this is an interesting get together after almost like 2.5 years of working on Pehchaan, the identity documentary. So it's really a pleasure to see all of you in one space, even though I wish we were in one room together, but still this is nice.
It's okay, that's how it is now, you know, like we don't have any other options, so it's all on Zoom now.
So I have a question for you, Saher.
Yes.
Tell us, now everybody knows Selfie TV as a channel, which is an online channel. Can you elaborate on what other work Selfie TV does in the region so we have a better understanding, since I think it's important for people to know that?
Oh, yes, definitely, because I'm very much sure not many people are aware about this, like what exactly we do and what's our background history. So Selfie TV is an online channel where we mainly focus on our high-end production. We make content, we produce content for YouTube as well, and then even for the other clients. And other than this, we also promote talents all around the world, not focusing only like one country, but all around the world, and different sort of talents, and more focusing on Pakistani talent as well, you know.
I wanted to understand when, you know, in 2018, I think we discussed this, because you and I collaborate a lot.
Yes.
W2W works a lot on creating stories. So we want to always highlight individuals, or we want to highlight talent. And the way we always go about that is we look for collaborations and we look for partnerships for someone to be steering the story ahead. And when I had mentioned to you that I have this desire to showcase good newsworthy stories from Pakistan, because there's a lack of it.
True.
I think we both kind of were looking for something to happen, right? We were just waiting, okay, any day now we're going to find somebody that we could really take things forward with.
True. I think we were waiting.
So when
we were waiting for the right person who's actually worth it, you know, because definitely this was something we really wanted to work on, and we wanted to make it big, and we were waiting for the right person who we can actually portray it and who deserves it. That was the main point, you know.
So I'm glad that Mobeen agreed to do the shows with us, because when we signed him on for the UAE tour, I think that was when the first time we both were like, okay, he could be it, you know?
Just to start off with, I would like to know that what was your, how was your experience working with us and being a part of this documentary, and especially working with W2W as well? So how was your whole experience, you know?
So I would like to start off by saying that by echoing what Zareen was saying earlier, that, you know, it's so wonderful to see all three of us together after, you know, 2.5 years. So it's, I mean, all these memories are coming back to me. It was an absolutely wonderful experience, because, you know, usually I'm always behind the camera, and my objective has always been to tell stories of other people or other places. And for me to be on the other end, it was a joyful experience, and for it to be made in UAE, you know, out of all places, was actually perfect, because it was like, you know, being away from home and interacting with people from you know, different countries, different cultures. It allowed me to see how the world would see my work, you know, not just Pakistanis, or just, you know, having this image or projection of Pakistan only. So it was an absolutely joyful experience. Yeah, and with W2W, it was just absolutely brilliant. You know, it was almost you know, like a vehicle for, you know, my message.
Even for us, like when you were just discussing about this, we were just recalling like how the whole, I think it literally took us 2 weeks to film that in UAE, and you won't believe it literally took us, I can say 1 month for the edits. Because what exactly was happening, since, you know, the documentary is completely a different thing. It's not like a normal movie fiction or different thing, you know. So with documentary, it's like we had to take up all your life, like literally all your life, all together and put that in 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. So that was like a very big challenge. And literally, you won't believe, I was stalking you. I was stalking you on your Instagram, on your Facebook, every single social media, because we wanted to get all those like perfect images and perfect things just to support your content, and we wanted to show that to the world. And a big thanks to Zareen also. Like, I think Ada credit usi ko hi jata hai, because she helped a lot with this.
It's been a good partnership, I have to admit. It's been like a labor of love.
True.
And I think because all of us, I think the common thread for all three of us is that we wanted to share stories.
True.
So whether it was words, whether it was film, whether it was photographs, I think we came together to tell stories. And as individuals, we want to represent our community better, I think on a larger world scale, you don't see a lot of stories about someone who is Muslim, someone who's Pakistani, someone who's a male in a positive light. What you do see are fragments of very biased news coverage. So I think trying to just create those and counter that narrative, it's been a really good journey. And that's why I think this was important to because people kind of always think, okay, it's a documentary, so the person must be like retired or really old. But no, it's not. I think the experience is what speaks about the journey more than the years spent, right?
True, that's
so
true.
That's why this was a unique project. And I think we were very lucky. We had such great support system, whether it was Poetic Strokes, whether it was Studio 7 galleries, whether it was Exposure in Sharjah, Nikon in Middle East, Pause Trails, KC24.
Oh, yeah.
I think there were like so many people supporting us. Bhavika Design. So I think there's such a bunch of people that we cannot forget. That made not just the event possible, but also the documentary so fulfilling. And I think the only hiccup was COVID, because it would have been a completely different screening if it wasn't for COVID.
Yeah, about the COVID, that was a big change. And
yeah.
As a W2W, you were planning to do the marketing as well. How that affected? Would you like to share something on that?
So this would have been launched in 2020 if hadn't been for COVID. We had even planned out the venue for screening. We had done everything. We had done the booking. If you remember, Mobeen, we'd done your flight details as well. You were supposed to fly into Dubai. Everything was scheduled for April 2020. And then March, the world just stopped. Flights, everything. And I remember just going what happened? Is it real? Are we in a film? It felt like we were in a movie now. And this is and then we just kind of struggled and tried to make sense of what we had. The good thing, I think, that I must say is that it gave us another vision. It forced us to look outside of our comfort zones and still manage to create or to develop the content in a way that it was ready to release. So I am really, really happy that I have a team with Selfie TV and with Mobeen's efforts. I think all of us were in communication throughout the last couple of years.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that is next, soon everyone can see what we've done. I think that's what's important. One of the things I'd like to just kind of plug in is Umeed, because that's something we've been working on simultaneously. And Umeed it translates to hope, and the hope to share more stories. I'm so glad that we're starting with Pehchaan, which is a one of its kind documentary. And I really want people to see it, not just because we made it, but because the story itself is so inspiring, and I'm just rooting for it. I want people to see it, to share it, to give it the love and respect that it deserves. And then also come back with us for Umeed. I want people to give us more talent, to share stories of individuals that we should cover, that we should talk about. That's what me and Saher want to do in the future. So yeah, give us your feedback. We're both very active online, especially Saher. You know, if you message her on Selfie TV, 99% of the time she's going to respond ASAP.
So just before we conclude this, I would also like to ask, because you are the first person to actually see the whole documentary. So I want to know what's your feedback on the documentary, and why people should watch this documentary, if you can just give few reasons.
Wow, you know, I really can't wait for it to be out. It's good for my vanity. So, you know, I mean, I think it's a very profound look into my work. It's a very, you know, a lot has happened during the 2 years, you know, since this shooting. But Seher, you know, you actually just really managed to update the story with the recent visual, and you know, you just really incorporated it so well. So I think I really like how everything is stays connected, you know. And I think for people to better, I mean, I usually don't talk about myself that much, and you know, I really opened up in the documentary, and I think for anyone who's interested to really understand my work, I think they should definitely see the documentary.
And just another one coming up to Zareen, I have one question for you also. Why you think Mobeen was the perfect fit for this documentary, you know? And also, if you can share like few reasons like why people should watch this.
You know, I've been doing curation of art for such a long time. I think in college it started, like my idea of always trying to pick out talent. I paint myself, and I think I see the world in color, you know. My world is full of colors. And I was following, you know, there was this need to showcase more talent. And also not just from my region, which is, you know, I was born in Dubai, grown up in UAE. Really didn't, I mean, we traveled quite a bit, but my vision was always UAE. And I think in midst of 2016 is when I started exploring the idea of talent outside of UAE, especially from Pakistan, because that's where we're from. And I started seeing a lot of great work coming out, whether it was painters, photographers, sculptors, writers, poets. And then from everything, I think Mobeen's work stood out for me. And I was like, okay, you know, because I just saw stars. You know, I saw the stars that he shot. And I think that was one of the first images that stuck in my head for a very long time. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to do a showcase with a Pakistani artist or a photographer, the first one, I would approach Mobeen first. So he had, you know, he was approached by me like on the basis of his work. I hadn't researched him. I didn't know much about his background. It was just looking at his work and just seeing the kind of lightness it had. It was not, even when he was photographing people, there was a dignity to the work, you know?
Yeah.
You know, when I saw work from Western photographers of, let's say, people of Pakistan, it almost made you feel sorry for the situation that they were photographed in, you know? So the narrative was different. But from Mobeen's perspective, you saw people living and enjoying life throughout. It didn't matter if they were old, it didn't matter if they were not rich, it didn't matter where they came from, but everyone had this beautiful light to them, and their story was highlighted. So I had this respect for his work, and that's ignited the start of the series of events, and then also wanting to explore the documentary. So, and now when I look at it from after it's been completed, and I've been, you know, luckily a big part of it with everyone else, I feel very happy and content, because I think that this is something we need to share. There is definitely a space which has been missing for such stories to be told. So I just have good things to say. I'm very biased right now. So we'll just let people see it and share it with the world and see what they say. So thank you, Saher. You've been the backbone. Without you, nothing could have really happened.
No,
you know, I am the limbs, but you're the backbone, so we work together well.
Exactly. So that's what I said. Like, it's a team effort. You know, it's not a one person.
It's
like,
a team.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful, beautiful team, and I'm so happy to be a part of this journey.
And just for those people who doesn't know, like, when it's coming out on 3rd of July. And it will be streaming on Selfie TV. So please, guys, stay tuned for that. And meanwhile, we will be releasing all the teasers and posters, so you guys will get the glimpse of it, how exactly the documentary will be turning out to be. So yeah, like, hope you guys keep supporting the content, you know, we make. And just because of the support, like, we are able to do these kind of things, and we are able to be motivated and, you know, bring out new things. So that's what it is.